Hey, Sooner fans, Thunder survive, U.S. Open weekend, and then we will get into some Ben Arbuckle passing concepts today. Up next on the Standard.
That's my standard. That's my standard. My champion standard. Champion standard. Pull up with the answers. Yeah, the answers. Champion standard. Champion standard. Yeah, yeah.
Hey, everybody, welcome back. It's a Father's Day weekend, so I have to shout out to all the dads out there. Uh, you're still in the intermediate phase of being a dad. You haven't quite made it to level 5 yet. Um,
Yeah. How many levels are there?
I don't know. Let's just say 6. I haven't made it. I'm, you know, 22-year-old daughter dad, but I haven't
Right.
made it to granddad status yet. I think that's the ultimate level when you get there. So,
Yeah.
um,
And I think there's like 40 levels or something like that to a Pokemon trainer. I feel
okay,
like I'm probably at like Pokemon trainer level 3 out of 40 maybe.
gotcha.
I bet you're probably at like a 30 or so.
Maybe. And I have a daughter too, so I've experienced some different levels that you may not get with the boy, or you may have different levels. Anyway,
Yeah.
um, as we digress, uh, yeah, U.S. Open weekend, golf weekend. Uh, they're all the frustrated men right now in the world are at Oakmont in Pennsylvania.
Oh
You
yeah.
talking about that course is driving them crazy, dude. I've seen more club thrown, club grounded this weekend.
Seriously?
Just
What the
oh
heck?
my gosh, it's a brutal course, dude. It's toughest in the world. The rough's high. It's just awful, just an awful course, and I love watching
Huh.
them struggle, dude.
Yeah,
It makes
yeah.
me so happy. So yeah, the leading score right now is 3 under. There's only like 4 guys under par
Oh
for the
wow.
tournament right now. So
Wow. That is a hard course. Holy
yeah,
crap.
it's awful. Like the goal is to just make as many pars as you can, and if you happen to get a birdie every now and then, great.
Wow.
But yeah, I've seen some guys not act like themselves this weekend. Rory McIlroy hit a shot the other day and literally threw his club about 50 yards in front of him in the
Do
fairway.
clubs
So
have rules for that though? I mean, are you supposed
no,
to? Yeah.
no, they know that's what it's going to do to people, so they don't care. I think they enjoy watching the frustration happen. So it's nuts, man.
Huh.
It's crazy. So anyway, uh, enough about that. So Friday night, man, we're I'm watching the Thunder
Oh,
game. I'm
good
texting you.
gosh.
I'm like, dude, this series is over. I can't. This I was totally like, there's
Was
no
that like?
way we can come back in the fourth. We have to have a 15-point lead in the fourth. All
Yeah.
that stuff. Just a
Yeah.
bad fan. I was a bad fan Friday night. Um, and then the fourth quarter happened, and we held them to 17 points, outscored them. I want to say
Yeah.
31-17.
Yeah.
Oh, how you
It
feeling
that
now?
I feel good. I've always felt good,
I
man. I don't know
know.
what you're talking about.
Yeah, well, yeah. You were coming down there with me on Friday. I was
I
dragging you down into
was.
my hell I was in. But
Uh, I was like, oh my gosh. Yeah, that was. Yeah, that was a rough. That was rough. It was that onslaught at the beginning. It was the first 10 minutes of that basketball game, which they were just raining threes. I mean,
uh,
statistically it looked like there was no reason why we should win that game, but as you know, we were 2 and 14 from three or so, and
I think
Pacers ended up with
yeah,
11 or 12,
we were
something
three of
like that.
16. We were 1 of 10 at halftime.
Yeah,
One of 10 at halftime. I'm like, are you kidding me?
yeah.
Oh,
So my
what's
brother,
what's this? Yeah, yeah.
my brother sent this to me.
Hmm.
This, I mean, this has been floating around, but he texts this to me every time we have a close victory, This little image of, oh boy, I'm excited to watch the football team or my favorite team play, and
Uh-huh.
then the director's like, I'm going to kill myself. And then, nice, we won. That pretty much
Yeah.
sums how we. Oh
Little timeline there. Yeah, that's funny.
yeah, yeah.
That's good. No,
You just.
Alex Caruso, man, he had a
Oh yeah,
game just
he
all over the
did.
place. That
Yeah,
guy, great picking him up. It's paying dividends now in the playoffs. Just
yeah.
he's all over the place. Felt like he was, if he might have been the player of the game. You can always say Shea just because he gets his 30. But Caruso came in and had some great minutes and stuff and just helped
Mm-hmm.
energize them when they needed it.
Right. No, that was a wild game. That was a wild game. But I think all these next games are going to be just like that. I think every single one of these is going to be in the final 2 minutes every single time. There's no lead safe. Like
Yeah,
there's no you could be up, what the pace were, 10, 11, 12 points or so in that first quarter. It doesn't matter that they can win. You can win every single quarter. First quarter you can win by a point. Second quarter win by a point. Third quarter win by a point. Fourth
mhm.
quarter lose by 6. I mean,
Yep,
like there's the list of outcomes is vast. So it's going to come down to the final 2 minutes. And I've been saying finals are won by a clutch player that just takes it. They just take it. I'm waiting for that moment where Shea just takes it. I'm waiting.
yeah,
I'm
and
waiting. I know it's a good collective team, but I'm waiting for
yeah,
him to go off.
I feel like, yeah, I just feel like they're still going to need other guys in the fourth quarter. I'm with you. It'd be nice to see that, but the way Indiana is defending him, they're making him work so hard
Yeah.
that he's exhausted in the fourth quarter. So to the extent there's some other guys that can take some pressure off of him, I'd love to see that. But no, you
Mm-hmm.
definitely want it in his hands the last 2 minutes and get him on the
Yeah.
free throw line if you can. But I get it. But yeah, and a little concerned about Chet. He rolled that ankle twice.
Yeah. And then he got hit in
Those
the shin too.
those things can, like, he can keep playing that game because of adrenaline, but I guarantee you, yesterday and
Yeah.
today, he ain't
Stiff.
feeling good.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
tomorrow he's gonna have to get that thing loose. And I'm just hoping something doesn't happen where he misses some time because he's had some moments where he's played really really good, and
Yeah.
he's a handful for them at times.
Oh yeah, I mean it's the length and the ball handling and
Hmm.
creating. I mean, creating his own shots. He had 14 points, 15 rebounds, and
Yeah,
assists, playing on 37 minutes. So for him, that's kind of a low game for him. It was J Dub that came in strong with 27 points, and
yeah,
Shea did his thing for 35. And like you said, Caruso, 30 minutes, 20 points, 3 rebounds. Uh, yeah, hopefully Ches, yeah, hopefully that ankle, they got it worked out, loosed up, and he can come back. We're gonna need him. Like you've got 3 games.
yeah,
I'm thinking this is going to game 7.
yeah. Me too.
I don't think there's any way any team's winning in game 6. It's gonna come down to the 7th game. Thank
Yeah,
goodness it's at home.
yeah, yeah. Next Sunday, Game 7. I think I'll be quite. Uh, I'll have alcohol probably flowing in me a couple hours for that game. That'll be rough.
Yes, that'll
Um,
be. What's that? What's that schedule? NBA schedule look like? So you got game 5 on Monday.
Monday, Thursday, Sunday. Is that right?
Monday, Thursday, Sunday. Oh my goodness, we do a pod right before the Sunday game
Oof.
7. Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. That ought to
Well,
be interesting. We
everyone tune
apologize
in
in
for that
advance.
one. We're gonna yeah, we're gonna be lit. I know I will. At 7 o'clock.
Slurring all over ourselves.
There will be no film breakdown on that
That's right.
Sunday.
That's right.
No dashboard, no film, nothing.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
won't be able to do it.
Uh-huh. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Yep.
All right.
Hopefully tomorrow night they can finally get up in the series. They haven't led in this series. I sure would like to know what
Yeah.
that feels like, and take the pressure off at least for a game.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Must win every game. Must win.
yep, yep.
Whew.
So hey, we want to get into some Ben Arbuckle passing concepts today. I know you got some things ready and prepped for us there.
Yeah.
I don't think we've had a I don't think we had a film session with Arbuckle stuff, at least a lengthy one since he's arrived. Is that right? Or did we do one maybe early on, kind of just a
We've done wide zone, we've done counter, but those two were back, you know, back a while ago. We did a John Mateer a few weeks ago
yeah,
where we just
yeah.
focused on some just Mateer's strengths, but we didn't really like go into like the scheme so part of it. What I'm doing today is just like a high level overview of like what the playbook is and what I feel, in my opinion, like what his Arbuckle's trying to accomplish. And then over the next summer, we'll just do like maybe 10 minutes, 15 minutes. We'll just pick a play concept. And today we're going to go through one. And then we've got a special guest coming on to talk about another concept. And we'll just sort of kind of chip away at different concepts. Today is to show like the field breakdowns, but today we're going to look at the dashboard and then go through a concept and see what we find and see what you think, man. Like, are you ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. So, like I mentioned, we've gone through wide zone, we've gone through counter, some of the Arbuckle's favorite run plays. Today we're going to start a like I guess a mini series, a little of a sort, going into his pass plays, and then we'll obviously kind of highlight what how you find out the reasoning for it based on Mateer's strengths and what they found successful last year with the players that they had, and then we'll kind of try to project, what is it going to look like for OU players and what OU has, and maybe what some of the things. So pass. Okay, so we'll look at this first graphic here. Explosive plays. Again, this is pass plays. This is pass plays without garbage time. So I took
Hmm.
all the
Okay.
garbage time out, some of the backup quarterback stuff. They blew out a few teams. Most games were actually to the wire. Um, so their number one explosive play concept was Yankee. So that's Y cross. What I call Yankee Y cross. One of core concepts to the air raid. They found, as far as number of successes, explosive plays through the air was through White Cross. Not does not mean necessarily that they're hitting the crossing route. It just means that was the concept of putting players in
Hmm.
position to have success. So really, I mean, if we look at the explosive routes, I mean, obviously the most explosive route is the fade. So they hit the fade 6 times. These are explosive routes. These are actually routes that they hit over 10 plus yards. The fade, they hit some screen, glance, post, stick, corner, dig. I mean, if you gotta go through here though, the Yankee play opened up the dig route. It opened up the corner. It opened up the post. That Yankee concept or the Y cross opened up routes around it for success. And that's the beauty of Y cross. It's actually like one of my favorite plays. I feel like it. I'll get into it later, but it's one of my favorite air raid concepts. And everyone talks really about mesh. Mesh is is probably numero uno in air raid. The other one would be shallow. Story goes how Coach Mummy, ran shallow like 30 times in one game as when he was coaching for Kentucky at SEC
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
absolutely obliterated running the same exact play. Shallow. Shallow is another one. Stick. Everyone's got some sort of stick concept. Y corner, and I'm missing another one, but there's 6 core air raid plays, and Yankee or Y cross is a staple. I mean, there's whole offenses in high school where they'll run Yankee or Y cross 30 times in a game easily. There's there's a story of a high school out in North Carolina that threw a high school team that threw for 5,000 yards, and their base play was Yankee. So, yeah, super popular play. That's number one with explosive plays. Here's with 10. Chains, that's just what I call chains or markers. This is literally just I'm running to the first down marker. And then usually you had players like Kyle Williams. You see here Kyle Williams that break a tackle.
Mm-hmm.
And then this Wayshawn Parker chains running a rail route. I wrote down wheel, but it's really a rail. But third, you have the Nile screen. Rip Liz, which I hope to kind of get later because this was a Riley concept that Riley used quite a bit, and a lot of air raid teams run it. It's not considered a quote unquote core play in the air raid, but it is a base quick game play. We might have time later in the summer to break that down. That would be pretty fun. And of course, you got mesh, you got some RPO, and you got your verts. So Yankee, number one play, explosive play. Let's see. Actually, might be able to. So out of Yankee, let's look at the routes that they hit. So yards gained, they had a fade route for 33 yards, the corner for 28, the curl, the backside curl for 23 yards, post for 20, the cross, which is Yankee or Y cross for 19, sail for 18, flat for 16, the backside dig for 15, backside dig for 13, and then the cross. So really, out of the explosive plays, they only hit the crossing route twice. So
And
that
you know what's a little weird there, Rob, is they never ran that more than once in each game. If you look at the opponent, no,
yeah
there's
yeah
only a couple that repeat, but
yeah
it's like he just
actually.
he has a lot of variety in his playbook. You know,
Oh
where he
yes, so good point. That is a fantastic point. So to kind of like a the college this playbook and many college playbooks, they are an inch deep and a mile wide. So
yeah.
they run a ton of different concepts, but as far as trying to find like the the concepts or the play calls, the number of play calls versus the production you get, Yankee was about like third. So they ran Yankee 24 times for about almost 8% of the production, which is pretty good. The other one, Mesh, they only called 14 times for about 7.5% of production. So there's a ton of plays that they're calling. It varies on how their kids or how their players, what they can
Hmm.
run, but also the opponents that what they're being presented by. So it seems like Arbuckle's installing a lot of little things, and he kind of builds on it through the year, and then he ends up having this this pretty wide playbook, and he's throwing it back to whatever defense he's getting. Basically,
Gotcha.
I mean, it's yeah. I mean, in a
And there
nutshell,
and there's probably just some subtle variations between a lot of the plays too, like you're saying. It's just
hmm
very
yeah,
wide. Not yeah,
yeah. So like the air raid, especially there's like six the core set of plays. I mean, they're really just tweaks here and
yeah,
there,
yeah, yeah.
and just trying to find the man beater, the zone beater, whatever
Hmm.
the defense is
Hmm.
presenting.
Hmm.
But I have this graphic here to kind of show like some of the plays that was not particularly good last year. So like
Hmm.
shallow ran 11 times, only 2% of the production. That is a core set of play, and Arbuckle does not really run the shallow as much as Riley did. Riley, and I know comparing to Riley because it's the last coach that was here that really ran the air raid.
Sure. Yeah.
Riley's shallow was like shallow. Like he would have CeeDee Lamb and Hollywood Brown literally run on the line of scrimmage
Hmm.
shallow.
Hmm. Hmm.
Arbuckle's shallow is a little bit different. He runs like either just in front of the linebackers, and sometimes the receivers kind of go behind, like kind of do like a drag route behind, so behind the backers. Arbuckle is like how if you're looking at a field, he is really trying to push the ball more vertical, and I don't mean like over the top, but really trying to push the ball deeper downfield. Versus what Riley did, he put a lot of the quick game really, really close to the line of scrimmage. Then he would go even deeper over the top of you. Whereas Arbuckle is kind of staying this almost like 12 yards to like 25, and but we'll get into that later. So we'll kind of look at We can look at maybe like this, like Yankee. Let's go to Yankee.
Do you have his playbook or something?
Maybe. Uh, so Yankee over here. This is all the Yankee calls on a field from 0 to 80, and most of the calls are coming out of the drive. And this is kind of interesting. I don't have it up in the dashboard, but Arbuckle called Yankee. Actually, I'll come down here. Let's look at this. So let's look at second down. So we're looking at all the plays ran on second down. Oop, I need to clear. Let's come down here to second down. So these are all the concepts ran on second down. This is number of plays down here on the x-axis and going from right to left, the most plays based on yards gained. On second down, Yankee was by far his favorite concept. Ran on second down, gained, I think it's like over 100, like 148 yards or something like that. It's a lot. But interesting, I don't have it in here, built in here, but based on the actual like drive, whether it was the second play of the drive, he called Yankee, whether it was a first down or second down, the second play of the drive, he called Yankee 11 times, which was like 3 or 4 times more than any other like play call. Like it was almost as if he would hit a now screen, which was the number one play call on the first down. He would hit a down screen or like a speed out, and then as soon as they got to the line quickly, or you get to the next play call, whether it was first or second, it was a Yankee. Like that was kind of like a little tendency I saw there in
That's
the
what I was.
film, and yeah,
Yeah, that's what I was getting ready to say. Does it bug you that he has some of these tendencies that are predictable? Because you don't.
no,
No. Okay.
nah. I mean, I I mean for last year, if I was like scouting him, I would be telling my if I was defense, I would be telling them, hey, second down is, um, like you expect Yankee, like you expect that Y cross, expect the sail to the weak side, um, but all this, we're looking at a snapshot of last year. Going into OU next year, who knows what he's going to be running? Who knows? He might. Our kids might not be able to run Y cross. I would be shocked if we couldn't, um, but I think tendency wise, coaches break tendency week to week all the time. But I just thought that was interesting as a whole. Looking at Washington State, the second down was, I mean, by far Yankee. I
Mhm.
mean, if you look at first down, I mean, unless you want to look at like the now screen, I mean, it wasn't as productive, but they called it a lot. But um, you're gonna have a coach that's gonna like favorite concept because the players can run it, and if they can run it well and it can't be stopped, then keep calling it, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm totally in favor of that. There's no such thing as outsmarting yourself. Sometimes if a defense struggles with something, just keep wearing it out until it stops working.
Okay, so I wanted to kind of go back just a little bit. So last week we kind of talked about John Mateer's favorite routes. I apparently have my graph wrong because when I was looking at it live, I was like, huh, that kind of looks weird, and I just went along with it. I actually accidentally had a filter on it, so
Mhm.
nothing really changed as far as like um, the percentage wise goes. But John Mateer's favorite routes, the screen, obviously, hitch, speed out, which we'll talk about the speed out and why they run it so much. I mean, even Gabe and Teddy, when Gabe did his breakdown on John Mateer like back in January, Gabe was mentioning, oh, you're running the speed out a lot. Well, there's a reason for it, and we'll talk about it. And then you've got the stick fade route. I mean, John Mateer hit some fade routes, man. Like I mean, we've talked about how he was, go against cover one, he was opting for the fade route quite a bit. I mean, for a guy, I mean, he did complete 13 of them, which was which is pretty good. And they did it. He did it in shock. He did it in a couple shot plays, which is just could be the Yankee and stuff like that. Torque, RPO, verts, mesh. Um,
How do those play
so
grades come into play? You have play grades up there up top.
oh, so
How does
that's
that work in?
so that is based on EPA. So that is EPA is an advanced metric based on if your team is at the 50-yard line, how good is the play to get you to score.
Okay.
So if it's like, think of it as like if it's 3rd and 5 and I run it for 4 or for 5 yards on an inside zone and I pick up the first down, well, that EPA is going to be better than a first down play, same exact play, 5 yards. The EPA would be lower on the first down and higher on the third down because you're saying I can push the ball.
I
It's
can
based on
move the
down.
sticks and stuff like that too.
Yep, it's based on downs, field position, and how likely are you to score. So that's where that play grade comes from.
Okay.
It that EPA gets roped into ESPN FPI. It gets, I mean, it's a base measure metric that a lot of people take for their own formulas and stuff. Um, like Bill Connolly uses that. I mean, that's basically Bill Connolly's measure as well. I mean, he just takes it from that. Anyway, get out of the stats world for a minute. But yeah, so Yankee, one of his favorite concepts on second down. On first down, we have the now screen, of course. Sometimes they went for the jugular and ran verts. Rip Liz, which is double slants to the backside with like either curl flat to the front side or like a speed out and a fade route. Stick, which is a staple of the air raid. Those are your top 4 first down plays. Let's go look at second one more time. You got Yankee, of course, stick, verts, chains. So chains, it's like marker, like, hey, kids, get to the marker, whether you're going to hook up with a stick or hitch, or you're going to do that again, a speed out. On third down, mesh. So third down was his favorite mesh play. Mm-hmm. And we've got a guest coming on that's going to help us break down mesh. And then again, you got double slant stuff with Rip Liz. And then you've got Dragon, which is your drag and you're out. Again, quick game stuff to get a first down. And then my favorite, which we'll go on later today, he only ran it like 4 times. I call it Shield. It's a bunch set and an underneath cut inside route. Really, really easy play. I think he ran it 5 times and 4 times he got a first down. It was one of those like very low percentage play count, but it was his easy mover to move the chains in all parts from the field. Whether he did it a couple times in red zone, he did it a couple times in open field. Is one of those, hey, little change up. Defense probably didn't see it in film because he only ran it like 1 time out of 300 plays when they reviewed film, and they just took some easy yards. So today we're going to look at second down, number 1 play, Yankee, and then we're going to look at third down, Shield, and then we'll have a guest come on and talk mesh.
Hey, something I think that would be cool down the road, and not to interrupt you, but if you ever could do with that one pie chart you showed, it had the screens on it and everything else. I know it was like the material one or yeah, that. If you could do a side by side with Sarkeesian and Arbuckle on something like that, I think it would be really cool.
Yeah.
I don't know how hard that is, but I guarantee you, like Texas runs as many screens or more. I
Oh
feel
yeah.
like Sarkeesian that's his favorite thing, just screen or tight end something.
Yep.
But if you could do that down the road, that would be really cool, just a side by side comparison of Arbuckle and Sarkeesian.
Yeah, so one of the actually I'll give you a nugget. So like Sark and Arbuckle, they are very similar in the way that they want to overload one side. The reason why that Sark has had so much success is because he's had some players that can flat out fly. Mm-hmm. And so because Sark has had like a
Worthy.
Xavier Worthy
Hmm.
that can flat out fly. He enables him to do some of these crazy flood concepts or wave concepts is what they call it. And when you've got a guy that can flat out move, you can really cover a lot of space and a lot of ground, and it forces the defenses to contort in ways that they're not able to cover the grass. But when
Hmm.
you got a guy that's really fast, cover a lot of ground, you can ask him to run some crossing routes or flood concepts from incredible angles. And when you've got a quarterback, Ewers was not a great quarterback with arm talent, but he was a smart guy. Was able to pick up what Sark was wanting him to do. He would, yeah, he knew where the ball was supposed to go. It was just whether he could actually get there or not. But the speedy receivers of Texas have been Sark really based on his playbook being with overload size, weak side, strong side, in a hurry, really puts a lot of pressure on defenses. Arbuckle does the exact same thing, but his routes have to condense a bit because his guys are not as fast. So like Sark is able to elongate the route, the angles because his guys are so fast,
Hmm. Hmm. Okay.
which changes the defense. Like you're trying to play zone, changing your angles.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
but yeah, that would be pretty cool look. Last one, passing concepts by yards gained. Verts was 11%, Yankee 10%, stick 9, mesh 9, RPO 9, Ripliz 8, now screen 8, and then the chain gain 6. And we're gonna take a look at Yankee, and then we'll have a friend come on and talk mesh.
Okay. Verts is normally one of the higher yards gains for a lot of teams anyway, just because of the pure fact it's usually a
Yep.
long route anyway, I would assume. So
Yeah. So Verts 6 in air raid language, 4 verticals, whatever you want to call it.
hmm.
Let me see where I can find it. I have a filter on. Do clear filter. So they um
There's a lot of F grades in there, Rob. A lot of Fs down
Yeah,
there
because
towards the bottom.
I mean mostly because like it's F's
Yeah,
or just
it's hit or miss.
fade. Look,
Yeah.
fade, 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 fade,
Hmm.
fade. I mean that's a lot of incompletions. A sack because you're holding the ball longer,
Right.
or a hitch that goes for a 1 yard loss because someone like a player is trying to do too much. A post did he complete that? No, that was an interception, which we've already looked at that. Sack, hitch, sack. Taking the check down or taking a sack, and then but you do. I mean, he does. He'll hit it. Like he'll hit it. He had 7 explosive plays. All it takes for you to gain a bunch of yards is to hit the fade route one time a game, and you're gonna be collecting a lot of yards. Let's see, like do pass and then verts. There we go. So here are the 4 verts: 37, 28, 21, 15, 12, 11, 10.
Okay.
Touchdowns. One last thing. Touchdowns. Here's all of John Mateer's routes on touchdowns and his 29 or so. Verts concept, 3 touchdowns. Play action boot, 2 touchdowns. China, which is a very popular red zone run zone route where you've got 2 in breaking routes and then a corner route on and the third receiver. Dagger, smash, fade, flea flicker, jet pass. Jet pass is that jet motion, and the quarterback just tosses out in front of him.
Hmm. Hmm.
Pop, which is that tight end, basically, hey big boy, just run like a rounded slant / dig into the middle of the field and be a big target.
Yep.
in the red zone. Pylon, again, red zone, run to the pylon. He fades it in. Shot is just, hey, I'm taking this shot on this X receiver. It's most likely a fade that probably needs to be grouped in with that one. Switch post wheel was something that Jackson Arnold, for the life of him, could not hit with, I mean, to say, oh my gosh. And Burks ran into the, I remember we ran it, I think, 4 times versus Tulane, and we incompleted all of them. So, torque, tunnel, Yankee. So, Yankee wasn't really one that we scored a
Right.
lot of touchdowns with, but it was
Yankee got us there, but didn't get us in.
correct. It's an open field. Correct. So, open, like going back, like it's an open field concept. So, if, like,
Right.
again, go down to this one where production and calls, and I gotta, there we go.
Need space for plays like that as opposed to
Yep.
near the goal line.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, most of it was from the 40 yards to the goal line to the 80.
Okay.
And after that, it's like once you get to the red zone or those high red or even like the 35, 40 year, Arbuckle didn't really run it. That's where he switched to pistol and started running wide zone. That was like one of his favorite plays at the high red. If you watch our wide zone stuff, you would have seen that too. Okay. Any questions, Brad?
No, a lot of this stuff's over my head. I've never been a play guy, so no, the stats are interesting. For me, it's all about, do we have a coordinator that can manipulate defenses and, keep them off balance because we haven't seen that the last couple of years.
Right.
Um,
Right.
so just need a leaps and bounds, just a guy that can, you know, set up plays and just keep the defense guessing. So I'm hoping that's all I get concerned about.
Oh yeah. Okay, so let's take a look at the film. All right. So our first draw up here is AC 95, which is what OU used to call AC, which was their one back sets, and 95, which is just Y cross. So this is like their base Y cross play that we used to run back in the day. So, and it's very, I mean, it's pretty much exactly what Arbuckle runs. So look at this OU playbook. Um, what you're gonna get from the X receiver is a mandatory outside release. You're trying to get, it says here, get the defender's shoulders turned, meaning turn away from the play. So the Y cross that's coming underneath, that corner can't be a part of it. You're taking that corner out of the play. H, so this little out route, Arbuckle uses a speed route, same route. Is just instead of like a basic, which you would call a basic, it's like the receivers like breaking down and then cut. A speed out is a rounded route. Like you are trying to go full speed. You ain't no basic trying to do some shifty and make a DB kind of sit there for a minute. So this H receiver is a speed out that can be tagged, which we'll talk about later. And then of course you got your Y cross. What is Y cross? Y cross is a what they call USUM route, which is an acronym. We love our acronyms. Under Sam, over Mike,
Okay.
meaning we were trying to go under Sam and a non-negotiable over Mike. The only time you don't see him going over Mike is if they're playing some sort of Tampa 2 and that Mike backer is now trying to become a coverage player downfield.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a non-negotiable over Mike. And then your aiming point is about 22 yards across the field. And we'll get into that later, some more stuff. On the backside, this Z is tagged in a lot of different things. The base is a corner. So they're just running a curl. I said corner. A curl,
Mm-hmm.
and then your F or sometimes a Y, or you're tight end. You can have a tight end here, and you can run technically like. Hold on. What the fuck? Hello?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, that was.
Can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah. Sorry, that was weird.
You're good.
My headphones. Huh. Okay. Sorry, I said corner, not corner, curl. So on the
Hmm.
back side of the play, you're gonna curl and then a flat. So let's go through it one more time. X receiver, get the defender's shoulders turned. You're running a mandatory outside release. H can either that could either your H on the front side of the play can either run a speed out. It might even run a stick where you're just gonna stick hitch. You're just gonna try to hook up. You might even run like a little bubble screen as a little flat player, but most of the time you're either getting at like an option route where he's going to sit and he's based on what the line that will linebacker is going to do. He's either going to cut inside or outside. What Arbuckle does is he does a speed out. F is your check down your ball call player to the flat on the back side, flat, and then the Y is running your crossing route, and then your Z is your base play is curl. Now they can also run a post or they can run a dig. What Arbuckle likes to do is later in the season, beginning of the season he's running a curl. Later in the season he starts running a dig, and that's really just based on what your pass catchers can do. So that's your base 95 Y cross. So let's bring up a play. Yeah, I like that. All right,
Oh
cool.
yeah, that's nice.
All right.
I got full screen, man. Full screen. Look at that.
Yeah. Okay. So this play is exactly that was just in that drawing. It's just flipped over. So what you're getting is the mandatory release instead of the bottom of the screen to the field. So you're actually getting it to the boundary, which is actually good because that's an easier throw, just depending on what kind of coverage you're going to get. Your flat player is going to be this guy right here, run his little speed out. You're going to get a curl on the backside, like we mentioned, curl the flat on the backside. Here's your flat player, your running back, who's going to probably check, pass coverage, bump, and then go out most of the time. And then your cross coming from right here. He's going to go over Sam, and he's going to play over Mike. Or sorry, under Sam over Mike. But he doesn't have a Sam. Sam's actually playing, I think, let me watch this coverage real quick. I think this is cover 3. Yeah, this is cover 3, maybe. No, this is cover 1, which makes sense because again, let's walk through Mateer's progression here. So again, like I mentioned in that Mateer episode, there's something about cover 1 and Arbuckle and Mateer throwing the fade versus cover 1 because they do it a lot. So again, you got mandatory outside release, you got your out route, you've got your curl, you got your eventual flat, and then you've got your Y cross. Now, his progression is peak the fade, 2 is the cross, 3 is actually going to be the check, and then 4 is the curl. So in this progression he's going through is he's going to peak the coverage, and he's already decided he's throwing this ball. From right here, he's already decided to throw this ball. He already knows where he's going. Because based on the Y cross I progression, you peak. If you see grass, you're throwing. If you see grass on this fade route, you're throwing it. He sees grass. There's nobody dropping here. You got a safety that's playing cover 1 in the middle of the field, and he's got press man. I'm basically saying my guy can beat your guy. He sees grass, he's throwing it. If this corner and another play we'll get to, we'll show you when he comes off of that and hits the Y cross. Receiver makes a great play.
Yeah.
There's the fade. Bing, bada, boom.
To me that looked covered, but maybe it wasn't.
I mean, if he drops it right here, Now, I don't
Like
really like.
they're step for step with each other.
Yeah, but again, based on rules,
Hmm.
if he sees grass, if there's nobody over here, he can take it. Doesn't mean he has to take it, but he can take it, and he chooses to take it quite a bit. And that's where I said, like in his cover one, he was taking a lot of these low percentage throws. And I don't know, I'm not in the room, so I can't tell you if Arbuckle's telling him, hey man, you see this, take it,
Right.
every single time, or he's just like playing free. But that's the first progression, is this fade, is the peak. Do you have grass? Do you not have grass? Is there a safety over? If you see color, meaning if you got safety over the top, then you're not gonna throw it.
Right.
All right, let's go to another one. So this is Yankee, and instead, like I said, that this Z out here can be tagged to do different routes. Instead of just a fade, he can run a post, or he can run a corner. In this case, he runs a corner, so he's gonna do post, and he's gonna kick back inside. Over here, you've got the speed out, and then you've got under Sam, over Mike, cross. I'm not sure what this back. Oh, this back I think goes out here. And see, they jam him up. They this is this. Yeah, so they jam him up. They were expecting a Y cross here, but it doesn't matter. They got a corner. Terrific route run by, I think that's Kyle Williams.
Yeah.
Gets open, free. Again, this is Yankee. Took two guys out of the play with the Y cross. Got one-on-one coverage, a great route runner. And even look at number this backside safety. He gets turned around. Easy, man. Let's look at another one. Okay, so this one's the one where they hit the Y cross, and it's coming from the inside receiver here. So you're getting a mandatory outside release. This receiver kind of half-asses his route. He needs to run. But again, you've got mandatory outside release from your X. You're going to get a what could be a curl, but this is after they've figured out, hey, my guys maybe prefer, instead of a corner, you can change this into a dig. And then you've got your flat. But on the back side of the Y cross, you usually have a curl and a flat of some sort, but you can always change this curl to a dig as well. So like this receiver kind of sits, kind of rounds it out. Oh, here we go. So, this one actually kept. So again, he's turning to his first read. Then his second read, he's going to come off of it, hit the cross. On the cross, he's looking for the zone to sit. He's looking to sit. He's not actually looking to go all across the field. Okay, he's not like, I'm just going to take off and just run unless he feels man. But as soon as he sees this guy is just hovering and this guy is just standing here, not even looking at him, the safety isn't really driving on him. He knows to sit. So now he's sitting. Boom, he takes a shot. Great play. I mean, this is basically Y cross. Now, what I mentioned over here, this tag, so you've got your H receiver over here. Why they are running speed out so much from the front side and back side is to try to get these guys stressed horizontally.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a play I'll show you later, but this is a tag. They're saying, hey, kick out. We're trying to get these players running to the sideline. And I think this next play is a good explanation why. Check the fade, cut inside. Receiver sit.
Looks like a lot of decision making goes into this with Mateer.
Oh yeah.
It's not. Yeah,
Okay. Here we go. So again, outside release, he's gonna peek. He's gonna peek to the fade. If he sees grass, he's gonna take it, or um, he might not take it. But he has his first progression is to look here. Does he have the kill shot? To work to the Y cross. Can my guy find the zone and sit in it, or can he at least keep running, read that it's man, and keep running, and I can drop it over here, which would be wide open because this guy has his shoulders turned as he's running with him. And then over here, you've got the outlet. This you watch again. This you're getting the curl and the flat to the backside, just like it with all the other plays. And then this receiver slows down. He knows it's not man. A bad receiver knows it's zone and just sprints right into this guy, right? A good receiver slows down and tries to sit, and you got a great quarterback that can drop it right in between four defenders. That's a great play. I mean, this when I was going through, I mean, this is coached up really, really well, and it's executed really, really well, and it happens to be one of their favorite plays to run on second down. Look at that. I mean, that's
yeah,
great.
that requires some great accuracy by Mateer.
Let me watch this one. This is just another Yankee. They bring pressure. They drop into cover 3. Receiver catches it, but takes a lick.
Yeah, I just see SEC defenders like closing those gaps a lot more than what we're seeing here on film.
This is the receiver's fault. It is. Like, he should have sat a lot sooner than that. I mean, he should have sat like right there, but he keeps going. And Mateer sees that he keeps going, so he's trying to throw it to him. Now, Mateer could probably throw that a little bit like into his inside receiver to help him brace.
Yeah.
But the guy could have sat right there.
Yep.
And here's another thing. This is not a good play to show. Let me find another good play here. So here's Yankee again. This time you're getting another like flat and over the top on the backside. You're getting a smash concept. You're getting a hitch and a really terrible corner route by him, by this inside receiver. You're getting Yankee, but then, like I said, you've got your option route basically where he can be a fade, he could be a corner like we've seen in the past one, but now you can also post it. So look at the middle of the field. There's nobody here. There's no safety. So you can tag your outside receiver, go into the middle of the field. Let's attack it. They run hot coverage. They're bringing pressure. They're running cover 0. I mean, this is like you're screwed. You give him time. This is just too easy. Easy. Still a great throw because this like it looks like a linebacker almost undercut it. So you see middle of the field open. You can use your post to use a post from your outside receiver. If you see middle field closed, and if you could hit that fade, or at least just one time hit that fade, you're cooking, man. You're cooking. Let me see here. I don't remember this one. Okay, so this kind of, like you mentioned earlier about how concepts kind of blend together. I couldn't really tell. I didn't know what to, because it's in empty. I don't have a lot of practice with empty, but Y cross is essentially weak side flood. Sail, which is another air raid core concept, is strong side flood. If I was going to say what Arbuckle's passing tendency or his concept base is weak side flood, meaning I am taking the strong side, 3 receivers, 2, and I am going to flood the weak side. I'm going from a position of strength to the position of weak with Y cross. And then what he does is after you start, figuring, try to, manipulate your box, your coverage angles, he can hit you with a sail too. And that was like that play from last week where Mateer threw it all the way to the sideline of Boise State. That was sail, strong side flood. Here you got you got cross, and then he attached sail to it. So look at this coverage here. You've got guys working over here to try to create a box in the middle of the field with his weak side flood. You see all that? He can't hit the cross, but he turned around and said, "Well, I'm just going to attach a sail to it."
Yep.
On the front side. So now I am strong flood and like a Y cross at the same. I mean, like,
Somebody missed their assignment there because that guy was wide open.
Well, I think it's they were sick, and I mean they're flowing to this into the middle of the field because this Y cross kept sitting here, or you got posts coming over the top of you. They're trying to close the middle of the field, the underneath middle of the field. But then Arbuckle will just come out and say, okay, if you're gonna shift all your numbers this way, then I'm gonna sail it to the sideline. I don't think this is a bust. This is just Arbuckle saying, hey, you're going to have to pick your poison. I'm either going to hit this middle of the field with some of these underneath routes, or I'm going to strong flood you with sail, and you're going to have a guy covered up on him because my quarterback can over top on you and complete those passes too, and my quarterback can throw this strong side sail. Mateer, because of his arm strength, being able to hit those deep sails opens the playbook like nothing else, man. Being able to throw this shot, and this is after Boise State. So Oregon State has seen him being able to throw this. Look at this, man.
Nice little sidearm.
That's not normal. That's not normal, man. Like that's
and not to mention, you haven't even mentioned it yet. His running ability just keeps those linebackers honest on every play, you know.
Yeah, for sure. So here we go. This is cover 5, and they're just running. So here's another thing. So why run speed out so much? Like if you got speed out, when you can run your speed out and you pull these guys in. So that's another thing, which I don't know if we'll have time to ever show, but Arbuckle and Mateer eat this speed out over and over again. And when they do, they force this side into either cover 5 or a cloud or cover 2. And yeah, this looks like this actually might be, I'm not sure. But you get these speed outs, you get guys flowing this way, it opens up the middle of the field. Unlike what Oregon State I showed you with Oregon State, how they kind of collapsed on the middle of the field.
Mm-hmm.
If you start collapsing on the middle of the field, they're going to hit you with the speed out or they're going to hit you with the sail. If you start opening up the middle of the field, they're going to come back weak side and hit you with the Y cross. It honestly, watching back on this several times, I mean, that really to me is the offense passing the football. I mean, it is Mateer's decision making, throwing over the top of you on the fade. It is overloading you on the strong with weak slide flood, and then it's over when you decide to try to take that away. I'm just going to sail it because my quarterback has awesome arm strength, and it's just tick for tack, back and forth.
Yeah, I hope Arbuckle's concepts just creates more explosives because you and I know that last year explosives were like little to none.
Yeah.
Whether it was Arnold or Hawkins with his legs, we just had so few explosive plays last year. It was sad.
Yeah. So here's another one, and we'll go back to this real quick. So here's trips, and again, this is what they said back in the day. Another version of 95. Your X is getting your mandatory outside release, getting the shoulders turn of the defender. You're running a ball call with your running back as your check down. Running back and say, hey, give me the ball, I'm wide open. Mateer can chuck it. Your Y, again, use some route, under Sam over Mike, 22 yards depth, trying to find a place in the zone to sit. If he feels man, he could take off, but really it's finding the zone to sit. And then your H, which could either be a tight end, it could be anybody really, running some sort of speed out or some sort of flat route. It could be this speed out here shown where he's going to three step, 5 step, get your head, turn around, or it could be a hitch. It could be a stick. It could even be a wheel route, and you could swap the spacing with the Z where the Z could do like some sort of slant or a snag and do a wheel behind it. But in some sort of backside play to Y cross is some sort of curl to flat. You're trying to put stress on that corner, or sometimes a will, depending on the defense. And go back to the play. So here it is. We've already watched this, but I'm going to go through it one more time. Trips. There it is. Outside release. Find the zone to sit in. 2. Progression. 3. Your running back. 4 is your curl, or it could be a dig. But that's essentially Y cross. You're trying to manipulate the middle of the field, and the defenders. You're trying to either have them get sucked in, and you're going to hit them on the outside because look how open that guy is.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's wide open. I mean, that's an easy. I mean, Mateer sits and holds this because he sees, okay, my receiver should. He's trusting his receiver at this point right here. He's like, my guy should see this.
Yep. The seam looks like it's there. Yep.
But if you start, and if, for instance, I mean, what's great about this play? Let's say you start hitting him on this, Brad. This little
Right.
quick out. I mean, you time this right. This is easy 8-9 yards, right? If you're hitting that over and over and over, like they did, based on Mateer's favorite routes, he hit that like 20 times. You hit this 3 or 4 times a game, this Will Backer starts creeping up. He has to get there. He has to go now, which then just eliminates a coverage player in the middle of the field.
Right.
It's that simple. I mean, it's that simple. So you can nickel and dime him, or you can hit him here. If they start collapsing and taking that, then you can have a sail back over here with an off-man defender who's trying to, all alone. I don't know, man. Like like I said, I think summarizing up Arbuckle, he is a predominantly a weak side flood Y cross guy. That's like one of his bread and butters, and he'll attach speed out tags all over the place in all of his concepts to get those guys horizontally flowing so that he can come back at him with a Y cross, or at least opening it up for other routes like the corner and the post and everything.
Pick your poison. Yeah.
Yep, exactly.
That's good stuff. Me, I'm watching the game and I'm just like, oh, that's a good play. I don't know how it developed. I don't know. I don't know a lot of the concepts and stuff. So that's just me never ever really being a student of the game or playing it. But I appreciate all the film study you do and breakdown like that because guys like us need it that don't ever don't ever look that I never look at the film after on game days. I'm just like, yeah, we scored 7 touchdowns.
Yeah,
I don't
we
care.
scored. We won.
Up there,
Who
you know
cares?
what I mean?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Um,
I think Arbuckle, and that's what he did last year. I just want to say, like, that's what he did last year. That doesn't mean that's what's going to carry over next year, but he does have a core set of plays for air raid. He does like flooding the weak side part of the field with Y cross to open up the field up, and with the now screens and of course there's mesh that's completely different than Y cross, which we'll go into later. We're kind of getting looking at it, we can at least, there's going to be a lot of this that does carry over, but there's going to be some stuff that OU players can just do better or just do differently. That they're just all different players. So
you just hope the personnel upgrade is there, and not just offensive line all the way to our skilled position. You just hope there's some better scheming because of the personnel we have, and um, fingers crossed. We'll get into our different position groups and things and
Yeah.
evaluate those here before long. But um, yeah, that's what you hope is just everything's crisper, and we have a Jade Knott in the backfield and some other guys uh, possibly that can take advantage of some things maybe that the Washington State personnel couldn't.
Yeah. Yeah, and you mentioned about the offensive line. I mean, Mateer was harassed. Okay, he was harassed. That the offensive line was pretty mediocre. Okay, and if you're gonna give him time, like all those plays had, he has all. I mean, he can drop it into little square area with four defenders. He can sit back and drive it on a rope. He can throw the sail from like 40, 50 yards away, which is incredibly hard to do. Give him time, and if his receivers can just be smart football players and just run their route, we're gonna score a lot. Like
Mhm.
this, we should be able to move the football. I cannot imagine a scenario, and we'll get into this later when we go into steak night. But I cannot imagine a scenario where this offensive line doesn't come out with their heads scorching on fire after listening to all the bullshit that was talked about the offensive line last year and all the
Yep.
shit that they had to go through.
Yep.
And you see it with Coach Beanabo. You could see how laser focused that guy is. The dude's lost like 50
He,
pounds. Like
he looks
he
great.
looks good. He looks great.
I don't recognize him.
He if yeah.
Yeah.
I think the offensive line is gonna be good, and this Mateer guy is gonna he's gonna he's gonna be a good one, man.
Yeah,
He's gonna be
and
good.
you went through passing concepts today. You know, uh, just the receivers running different routes to free up, certain things. You haven't even went into the run concepts yet. So if we can, if we can establish a really good run game with our running backs, I'm not talking Mateer. Everybody knows Mateer can run, but if we can just start sucking those safeties up with our run game concepts, then that frees up everything you just showed a little
Yep.
more, uh, just to allow stuff on the back end. So uh, hope it can all come together. I know we're going to be flies on the wall just seeing what happens those first couple of weeks. You got the warm up game with, is it Illinois State we play first?
Illinois State,
Yeah,
Red Birds or something like
and
that.
then the Wolverines come to town. We'll see how all this plays out in that game.
Yeah, to me it's yeah. Yeah, it's gonna be we got whatever I can do to make this next 10 weekends go faster. I'm gonna do because I just want to get to football, man.
Yeah, same. Yeah, I can't wait for the season. But um, yeah, anything else on the past concepts? That was some good stuff.
No, that's all I got for today. We'll, like I said, we'll go into Mesh here soon, and I want to go into Rip Liz. I didn't get a chance to go through Shield. I'll go through Shield and Rip Liz on an episode. That's kind of your third down stuff, and then after that, Brad, you go through Mesh and the Shield and Rip Liz. I mean, that's pretty much the offense.
Gotcha.
There's not really. I mean, you can go through all the speed out stuff, but like he did it in so many different ways. But I mean, that's about it. The offense is done. I'm gonna go into the defense.
Oh wow, going to the defense. So
Yeah.
do you have to get so you got your air raid certification for the offense. What do you get for defense?
Uh.
You get
Uh.
the you
Defense.
get the
Like offensive coaches are always the gold chains and the fast cars. The defensive coaches drive trucks and they wear khakis. So like I don't know if there's sort of like a certificate type bunch. I think it's just more of like okay, you defense, Like I don't know, there's like two different
yeah,
worlds,
you
offense
get
and
some
defense.
Buddy Ryan certification for the defense or something like
Yes. Yeah.
that.
I get like a wig with a trucker hat and long white hair.
Right. Yeah, the Ryan, the Rex Ryan, Rob Ryan,
Buddy
Buddy
certified.
Ryan. Yeah,
Buddy
exactly.
Ryan certified.
That's funny.
I can sit here and play with my hair,
Yeah,
my white
yeah.
hair, just like throw it around.
Oh, good stuff. Good stuff. Yeah. We want to wrap things up today.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, good film stuff. Thunder Game 5 tomorrow. I know that'll be nerve wracking. These next 3 games, it just keeps getting a little more nerve wracking every game you advance.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and yeah, some golf. I'm gonna watch some golf today for sure. I always get into the majors, so looking forward
Yeah,
to that. Thanks for joining us, everybody. I forgot to mention earlier. Please download, like, subscribe. I always forget that. I'm terrible. Yeah, exactly.
I did too.
I had so many like connection issues today that threw me off too. So appreciate everyone turning in again. Happy Father's Day to everyone out there, um, and we will catch you next weekend. Thanks, everybody. Boomer Sooner.
Hey, hey. That is my standard. Champion standard. Champion standard. Yeah. Run my place, ayy. Keep up with the pace, ayy. If you don't got motion, then stay up out of my face, ayy. I be doing a race, ayy. 100 yards out of the way, ayy. It's time to lock it in the field, baby. It's game day. 7 rings you can't handle. I'm winning champion man too. Walk up to my standards. Maybe that's something you can't do. Maybe try a different angle. Maybe try a different play too. When you know you're the greatest, some people might hate you. Champ, yeah, I'm the champ. Yeah, I'm the champ. Champion standard. Don't gotta put on a hat. Titles, you know we got that. Yeah, I'm the champ. Champion standard. Yeah, I'm the champ. Champion standard. Hang my jersey in the rafters. I'm the champ. Champion standard. I'll tell you nobody's safe when it's time for game day. Put up or shut up, you know it's competitive. We will not ever take losses. Yeah, I be playing the game, but at heart, you know I am just really a boss. Youngin' or boomer, don't matter who's on that field, everybody getting sauce. Get down with the team, cause we really one-on-one, yeah. Hey, I'm the man, hey, I'm the man, yeah. Watch how we make fans, while we also make this cash, hey. When it comes to plays, there isn't one we haven't ran, yeah. Competition's getting body, that's no capping. Champ, yeah, I'm the champ, yeah, I'm the champ. Champion standard, don't gotta put on a hat. Titles, you know we got that. Yeah, I'm the champ, champion standard. Yeah, I'm the champ, champion standard. Hang my jersey in the rafters, I'm a champ, champion standard. Champ, yeah, I'm the champ. Yeah, I'm the champ, champion standard. Don't gotta put on a hat. Titles, you know we got that. Yeah, I'm the champ, champion standard. Yeah, I'm the champ, champion standard. Hang my jersey in the rafters, I'm a champ, champion standard. I told you nobody's safe when it's time for game day. I told you nobody's safe when it's time for game day. Champion standard, and we don't play. Champion standard, and we don't play.